Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about what the gossip is about you and what people are saying about you behind your back. And I have 6 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, this will be group number 5, and this will be group number 6. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can just pause the video. But if you don't need any more time, then just head down to the description box below and find the timestamp for your particular group and click on that, and your reading should appear in front of you. And while you're down there in the description box below, make sure to check out my guide on how to book a personal reading from me. I love doing personal readings for you guys. It's always a pleasure. So please check that out. But let's focus on this reading right now. Pick your group and I'll see you in your reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Jolanda Tarot deck. And I'm going to start with some channeling and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 1? The people who will choose group number 1. What's the gossip on group number 1? What are people saying about group number 1 behind their back? Okay, so I'm sensing the gossip about you is actually not really gossip at all. It seems like it's just one person, and this person is questioning people about what they know about you. It seems like somebody's very curious about you and wants to know what's going on with you. And I feel like this person could very well be a secret admirer of yours, like someone who would really want to know more about you and how, and possibly also how you feel about them. I feel like this person has had conversations with people where this person has subtly asked, like very indirectly, but kind of directly to, but like ask people if they know something, like if they've heard something, or if somebody might might know some something about your feelings about them, and if they have a shot with you, like if there's a chance that you could be interested in them. And so I think this is what this person has been asking people about, and I feel like it's also because this person is not only curious, this person also seems very confused, because this person doesn't really know if you like them, or if you're flirting with them, or like that, or if you're just friendly. Like this person is, confused. I think they feel a bit like you run hot and cold. Like they can't really tell if you're interested, because one day you seem to like them very much, and then the next day you seem to kind of hate them, and so I think that definitely contributes to the confusion. But I think there's probably a good explanation behind why you're running hot and cold. I think it might be because of them, like that maybe one day they can be very charming and very likable, and then the next day they might be a bit annoying. And so maybe it's also like maybe your reaction is very much determined by how they are acting. So yeah, of course you're gonna run hot and cold if they cool you up and then warm you down. Like then of course the thermostat is gonna be very yeah, different from one day to the next. So but yeah, but this person seems to very much have your name on their lips. They are talking about you, asking people for advice, asking people for their opinion, asking people what they should do about this. And I feel like that's the main thing I'm getting in this reading, is like this energy from this one particular person who seems to be talking a lot about you with others. And yeah, so but I'm also sensing that there could be some other people talking about you too, but I feel like it's not that important. It seems like kind of insignificant things that might be said about you, like yeah, maybe something from your family members, like someone in your family might be talking something about you, but it, like, of course it differs from person to person, but I feel like there is, like, I was getting something here, like from another person in your life, maybe a parent of yours who might be, or maybe a sibling or an uncle or an aunt or I don't know, but I'm sensing that this person could be saying something about like that you need to forgive them, that they would want your forgiveness, and that it's selfish of you to not forgive them, which is such a silly thing, because it's not like they can't bully you into forgiving them. Like it doesn't work that way. They need to like they need to do something to deserve your forgiveness. Like they can't just expect you to forgive them just because they really want you to. Like but so there's something about that. But I feel like, of course, that is significant too. But I just feel like this is an energy that you might be a bit tired of. So I don't want the whole reading to be about that. But I am gonna I'm maybe gonna go more into details with that later. But I kind of want to know more about this, what this secret admirer is talking about. And yeah, but I'm gonna just get whatever comes through here. Like I'm gonna have just gonna see what the cards have to say. I'm gonna ask the cards what the gossip is about you, and then I'm gonna take it from there. With the 9 of Cups, I feel like the gossip about you. Like, I feel like it has something to do with you having like I feel like people actually talk very positively about you. Not only the secret admirer, not like but also other people. I think I think other people also talk about you being very, very qualified for whatever you do, like that you seem to be very qualified, that you're very professional. This could come from your coworkers or your classmates or something. I don't know, like that you're very qualified and professional, that you do what you do everything perfectly to the like. Of course, there's no such thing as perfect, but I feel like they actually see your they see your effort as very very close to perfect. That you always give 100%, and so that's very positive. But I kind of want to know, like, I'm going to shuffle some of these archetype cards just to get a bit more information on what the gossip is, and then I'm going to just take it from there. Okay, yeah, child wounded. This card being reversed, it actually speaks very much about what I just said, so it kind of fits perfectly. Sadly, though, I feel like this has to do with what this family member that I talked about before have said about you. And this card here, the shadow attributes of this card, I'm going to read those because it came out reversed. So it says, blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. Resists moving on through forgiveness. I'm going to show it. Yeah, that's exactly what I just tried to articulate. It was this, that I think there is somebody in your family who feels like you're not that, and this is so typical because it's such a it's such a silly thing when the person who actually created the childhood wounds that you have, I feel like you have some childhood wounds. The card also suggests that or says that directly, but of course and then like the person who actually inflicted those wounds upon you, like created this, is now suddenly asking for your forgiveness and kind of annoyed that you're not giving it, and then blames you for like, or that you kind of blames you for blaming everything on your childhood wounds, that you're not moving on and that you should just move on and forgive, and that it's so well, that's very easy to say when it's actually coming from the person who made a mistake. Like the person who makes a mistake, of course, wants people to just forget about it and leave it in the past, and like I think it's very selfish actually for this person to have this to be so to make these mistakes and then want you to just forget it happened. That is not a very it doesn't seem like this person is very focused on what's best for you. It seems like they just are just trying to save their own ass, and they don't want to talk about what happened in the past, so they just want you to move on so that they don't have to deal with it anymore. But that's just a cop-out. It's just the easy way out. Some of this reading was ended up being about this. I don't want. I feel like this person. The fact that this person feels the need to be talking about this behind your back to other family members. It just suggests that this person, this person could just. First of all, I feel like this person could go, like for some of you, this person should probably just go to you and talk to you about it. But of course, if you have cut contact with this person, then it might be hard for them to talk to you directly about it. But I feel like others of you actually haven't cut contact with this person, but for whatever reason, they feel like it's more appropriate to go to other family members than actually going to you and actually solving the issue. But I think that's the problem with this person, is that they don't want to talk about the past, and they know that you're keen on talking about the past, and so they don't want to talk to you because they don't want to have to face what mistakes they made. And yeah. And that's very selfish of them, since it could probably give you a lot of closure if they just wanted to talk about it just for a little while, like just for an evening, just talking about this in an honest and open way. Like that would probably relieve a lot of the tension that you're feeling. So, yeah, but I'm gonna see if I can kind of get some. Like, I'm still kind of interested in the secret admirer stuff, and I'm gonna go back to that a little bit, just because I feel like that. Of course, that wasn't even what you were like. Of course, this is not a love reading, but I just feel like that was the first thing that came out for me. Like in the channeling, I felt like this person seems to be very interested in you, and I just really want to know what this person is all like. Why this, like what this person is gossiping about or not gossiping, but saying about you behind your back, and I want to know more about this. So, what is this love-related gossip thing that's going on? Okay. Okay, the shadow attribute of this card, the engineer. Of course, this could just mean that. I think it came out reversed, and that's why I felt the need to read the shadow attribute. But the person could also be an engineer, but I'm not certain about that. I feel like it's maybe for some of you, maybe not the majority of you. But the shadow attribute, it says reliance on mechanistic solutions without regard for emotional consequences. So this person, like this might actually, I feel like this is maybe like maybe this person feels like you're a bit cold, like that whenever this person tries to talk about something personal or intimate with you, you might you might answer with kind of mechanical, robotic answers, like yes or no or something like that, instead of actually answering the question and maybe that makes them believe that, or makes them fear that maybe you're not that into them, because they might feel like, since they've tried to get you to open up a bit about maybe something that happened in your past, and they might have tried to kind of push you into maybe talking about something more private, and since you didn't really bite onto the bait, I think they might have felt like maybe you weren't that into them. And I think just this person might have felt like sometimes you seem very, very flirty towards them. Sometimes you seem a bit more cold and distant, and a bit aloof. Like you're not really paying attention to what they say and stuff like that. Maybe I kind of want to get a bit of a description of this person, just so you kind of know who this is. I feel like most of you already kind of know who this is, so maybe this is irrelevant, really. But I kind of want to know. So I know it's different for all of you, so I'm gonna have to ask about a common denominator that fits with all of them, even though it's gonna be hard. But okay, with the blank card, it is very hard. But the rebel came out as well. So there is. I feel like this person is maybe a bit of a rebel, or maybe kind of wants to be. Maybe they aren't completely successful at being a proper rebel, but they might try. Like it might come across as a bit weird, because it's like this person might actually seem very like they might seem kind of like a square, like by the way they dress and the way they like fix their hair, and like they might have some, like the way they present themselves might be kind of conservative, but then they kind of might smoke weed or something, and or they might be into some heavy metal music, or like I don't know, or like I don't even think this person would be that into heavy metal, but I think this person would be into some like indie bands that nobody's heard of, and probably the type of person who likes a band just because nobody's heard of it, so that they can say to people like that they like this band, and they like the fact that people don't know about it, so that they can explain it and feel a bit like they have found something that, or that they can feel a bit special for knowing about something that nobody else knows about. I don't know. So the card also, the light attributes of this card, up here it says challenges authority to affect challenges authority to affect social change. I guess that should be affect, but I don't know. I don't want to correct anybody's grammar, because of course I'm like it's English is not my first language. It's my third language. So I don't know. Maybe it's, yeah, challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So I think this person is probably the type of person who this person could also like have their legs a bit like the person in the picture. Like they might like to put one foot on their knee, like when they sit. Oh, that's not the foot though. It's just the hand actually. That it's just it's a hand. I don't know if they've lost some fingers here, but like I don't know. But yeah, it's a hand here. I thought it was a foot when I first looked at it, but I was wrong. But yeah, it's this person might have like some like this person might post their okay. I'm not going to be mean, but they might post their art on social media. Like they might be very good at drawing, and I think this person is definitely very good at drawing, but they might be they might be a bit bad at drawing hands and feet and stuff like that. And of course, hands are really hard to draw. It's not like I can't draw proper hands, even though I'm pretty good at drawing. So yeah, it's yeah. So yeah. But I'm also sensing something about this person, like that. I think this person. I'm gonna get a bit more cards about who this person is, who's your secret admirer. Okay, networker. I think this person is quite extroverted. Or I don't know if this person is necessarily good at being social, or like I think this person might really like to go to social events, to parties, to anything where they can meet up with people, like meetings, any sort of meetings, any sort of groups, like book clubs, like anything that this person can get their like they like to sign up for anything. I think they like to probably also like to volunteer and do volunteer work. I think this person just really likes to be around people, and I also think this person really doesn't like to be alone. And so I think they fill out their schedule with a lot of things, so that they don't have to stay at home in their studio apartment and feel a bit shitty about themselves. But yeah, even though they don't have anything to feel shitty about, but it's just I think this person feels kind of a bit crappy when they are alone. Like it's just hard for this person, and a lot of people feel that way. So it's not. With a student card, this person could be a student. And with a blank card, again, 2 blank cards, well, this person could, I feel like this person is different for all of you, and so, like, don't be too, don't get discouraged if you don't really know who this is, or if you got a bit confused by some of the information brought to you in this reading, like because this person is going to be very different from for all of you, like but yeah, if you've had somebody in your life who has kind of been flirting with you and you've been flirting with them, but and so then I think it's very likely that it's that person. So yeah, But again, this wasn't a love reading, and I don't even know if you're actually in a relationship. But this is, but if you're in a relationship, that's definitely something this person is trying to get information about by asking people, asking people who know you if they know if you're seeing somebody. Like that they are trying to gather information about you so that they don't look like a fool if they asked you out and then found out that you were actually not available. I think this person is trying to dodge that bullet, like trying to find a way to not have that happen. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose the Mops Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 2, the people who will choose group number 2? What's the gossip on group number 2? What are people saying about group number 2 behind their back? Okay, so I'm sensing that some people are talking about your music. Like, I don't know if you make music, or maybe it's your taste in music. Like maybe you have a playlist on Spotify that's very good, or or maybe you post some of the songs that you like on social media, like on your Facebook account or on or I don't know or YouTube, or like something where maybe you share what kind of music you like, or maybe you wear band t-shirts, or like maybe you have I'm kind of seeing like a Blondie t-shirt from or like something like that. That was just the first thing that popped up in my mind, was a Blondie t-shirt, but it's gonna be different for all of you, I know, but I am sensing that people are talking about your musical, either your musical abilities or your taste in music, I'm also sensing for some of you, like if you have a car, you might have driven somebody around in your car, like maybe you gave somebody a ride, and maybe you had a playlist in your that was playing in your car, or maybe a mixtape or something. I don't know if people have mixtapes anymore, but you know, yeah. But I'm gonna channel a bit more, something else, something. So what's the gossip on group number 2? I feel like this. I feel like there is someone, I think, who's talking about like that it was the first time they met you. Like, okay, this is some weird information that I'm getting, that the first time they met you, they knew that you two would get along, because you were wearing the same thing, or like that you had the same color something on, like that. I don't know, this was just some very random information that I can't really make sense of it. But this is something I'm getting, that this person is saying that to people that they knew all along that you two would get along because of the first time you met, that something significant happened. I don't know if this is like a best friend of yours who feels like your bond is very, very strong, and it always has been, because since the first time you met each other, you just knew exactly who each other was and how well you would get along or something. I don't know. But it's not really gossip, though. It's just something someone is saying about you, and they would say this to your face too. Like, they don't just say this behind your back. I feel like this is just some kind of, like, maybe a bit of like, yeah. But I'm gonna ask the cards, because I want to know what the cards have to say about this. Okay, with the knight, the page of wands reversed. I think this. I think there is some gossip about you. That maybe lately it's been a bit hard to get in contact with you. This could be coming from the best friend, or even like someone who's very close to you, or used to be very close to you. And maybe you haven't like had a falling out or anything. Like it might not have, there might not have happened anything dramatic between you two, but life might just have happened. Like things always like it's not. Sometimes a lot of factors can come into play, and sometimes we just end up not seeing somebody for years and years, even though we really like that person. We really want to talk to them, but it's just like there is this distance, because like when a lot of time has passed, like, or when some time has passed, it gets like gradually more awkward. Like, and then like if 1 year has passed from you seeing your best friend, or your or a friend of yours that was considered your best friend a while ago, like a year, if a year has passed, it's going to be awkward. If 2 years has passed, it's going to be even more awkward. Like, and I think that is maybe something someone is kind of talking about, how they really want to contact you again, and like, but they feel like a lot of time has passed, and maybe you two wouldn't even get along that well now, or like that it's maybe a bit hard to get, or to just take that step and contact you. Like it's like there is a barrier. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but okay, with the Ace of Swords, there is some I think, yeah, there is some gossip about, or not gossip, but somebody's talking about this behind your back, that maybe they feel like there's no contact between you two, or like, and I feel like this is coming from somebody who used to be a very good friend of yours. That like this person might have recently kind of felt like they, like, I think it's maybe because this person has been engaging themselves with, or maybe they have recently gotten engaged. I don't know, but like I just feel like this person, like what I was about to say was that I think this person has maybe recently been engaging themselves in maybe your social media posts or something that you have posted online. Like maybe this person has liked all your Facebook pictures or something, and maybe they kind of feel like like you two only have this digital relationship, like it's just, and that it's even not even really a digital relationship because it's, or friendship, because it's not like you're actually communicating. It's just that you're communicating through likes and comments and stuff like that, instead of actually communicating directly on Messenger or something like that. And I think this person feels like they really would like to have maybe more dialogue with you, like talking about maybe old times, and maybe they feel like maybe I feel like for some of you there might have happened something where this person, like a this person who used to be a very good friend of yours, they might have felt a bit like you didn't want to talk about the past anymore. And maybe that is this person's favorite topic. Like they'd like to talk about the past because in the past there was a lot of funny characters to make fun of, and a lot of fun things that happened that you can talk about. And maybe this person feels a bit like, since you didn't really want to talk about the past, they feel like maybe there isn't that much more to talk about, because it's like that was what you bonded over, and if you don't want to talk about that anymore, it's kind of a bummer a bit. Like they don't really know how to break the ice if they can't bring up something fun from the past. But I don't know. But I'm gonna shuffle a bit more. So, what's the gossip about you, group number 2? Okay. With the Empress. I think like people are talking about you in a positive way. Like also this friend from the past that you used to hang out with and that used to be maybe your best friend. This person is also talking very positively about you. It's just the one thing about you not wanting to talk about the past anymore, like that kind of made this person feel a bit discouraged about your future interactions, that they don't really know what to talk about. But that's just their own insecurities, maybe because they don't really, maybe because they don't have that great social skills, and so they don't really know, like, and it's not even about that, but also just because maybe this person just doesn't really want to have to invent the wheel every time. Like if there's one topic that actually gets the ball rolling, like if there is one topic that always sees to be the winner and gets you to have a lot of laughs and a lot of jokes and a lot of fun times, and like if it gets you to belly laugh, then this person just feels like then it's worth it. Like of course, yeah, it's a bit maybe a bit like what's it called, like continual, or like when something repetitive, and maybe it feels a bit repetitive when it's the only thing that you two can talk about. But I think this person just feels like it's, if it isn't broken, why fix it? Like, and I think, but I think that's just the only negative thing I can actually, or also the fact that they don't really know if it's like, if it's like that they feel a bit awkward about contacting you, and maybe they feel a bit like maybe it could also be you contacting them, like that would maybe save them some of the awkwardness of having to be the one starting that conversation. but other than that, I think people talk about you, and this person also talks about you as a very, very beautiful person, like, and very lovable, very likable, with the Empress here, very, and also with the Sun here, like it's, the only thing I'm getting with the Sun is that people or someone might be talking about how you have a tendency to make everybody else happy, but that you sometimes forget about yourself, like that you're, and maybe that this person, like, I feel like this could also come a bit from the person that used to be a very good friend of yours in the past. They might have felt a bit like they got replaced, because at some point you might have stopped having time for them because you were too busy taking care of everybody else. Like, and maybe this this person just felt like, well, why not take care of yourself sometimes? And maybe they also kind of feel like taking care of yourself would also include hanging out with your best friend, like having fun times, go out partying, or have have like dinner together or something, like have a night out, and get some drinks or something, where maybe they just felt like, well, you were busy doing something that wasn't fun, like there's something that, and of course, and maybe there's also like one thing that, like, if you had like somebody dependent on you, like that someone was dependent on you for care and nurture or something, somebody that, like that, then maybe there might be some people talking about how you try so hard to care for that person and be supportive of that person, but you're maybe not getting that much in return, and that it's just kind of breaking you down while you're trying to build people up. And it's like, maybe you have had a bit of a toxic relationship at some point, where you were maybe with somebody who was a bit of an energy vampire, that just kind of took advantage of your kindness and took advantage of the fact that you were willing to help and willing to be there for them. And then maybe they even changed the narrative and tried to push the blame on you. Like when the breakup happened, they might have made you to be the villain, even though you were the victim of this. And there might have been a lot of, like, maybe you just got trapped into some kind of bad relationship. And I think there might have been a friend of yours in the past who felt like they got replaced by somebody who wasn't actually worthy of your energy. Like, yeah. And with the Tower here reversed, I think maybe there might be some gossip about people, or there might be some gossip about you not really not pushing enough people out of your life, like that you keep giving people second chances who don't really deserve second chances. and the Queen of Swords. Did this come out reversed? I think so. Yeah, reversed. Queen of Swords reversed. I think there might be some gossip about you, like, or some people might be saying behind your back that you're that you might, like, that you used to be a bit more, like, because the Air Queen, it's very witty, very sarcastic, very funny in a dark way, and also like a bit of a, yeah, maybe a bit of a bit gossipy, like someone who likes to also kind of, yeah, make fun of people for yeah, and doing it behind their back so that they don't hear it, because it's like the Queen of Swords is a very respectable woman, but so she's very good at making sure that people don't actually know what she says about them behind their back. So a bit two-faced, but yeah, but in a kind of entertaining way. So I don't know if that makes it okay, but this card came out reversed. So whatever I said there, I feel like it's like people are saying that you're kind of the opposite of that, and I feel like they are saying that you're opposite of that in a comparison to how you were before. And so maybe you used to be a bit more sarcastic, a bit more cynical, maybe, and maybe a bit more gossipy, and had more, and could be very fun to be around, especially for the people who are maybe a bit like-minded, and maybe the people that you've been friends with in the past who might have had that sort of personality, they might look at you now and feel like they kind of lost an ally, like that you used to be so fun because you were always up for some good old gossip. And of course you're watching this video, so I guess you're not completely out of that game. But I think there might be somebody who felt at some point that you were, like, I feel like this is the person that I actually have been describing early on in this reading. This person who used to be a best friend for you, or something like that, and this friend might feel a bit like you kind of said or maybe you said something to this friend at some point that you didn't really like the negativity, or that you didn't like to gossip about these people because you didn't really feel like you could do that with a like that it made you feel maybe a bit guilty, and a bit that made you I don't know, like there might have been, like, maybe you drew the line, like maybe you said, like, okay, now it's kind of getting a bit cruel or something like that. And I think this person just felt like you were a bit of a buzzkill, because it's like they've, yeah, I think this person didn't really take that very well. I think they felt a bit like you were judging them, and they felt like they might have felt like it was a bit hypocritical, because you used to be exactly the same, and so they felt like maybe it was a bit forced, that you suddenly had this change of heart, and they didn't really know where it came from, and they didn't really know what made this, what caused this shift in your point of view, or like that. It I don't know. But it might have just been because this person took it too far, and so maybe they were kind of like, maybe it was kind of their fault. Maybe you could have casually been gossiping more with them if they hadn't kind of taken it to the next level and been a bit too cruel. So maybe there was a good reason why you kind of put your foot down. So yeah, but I think that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one, and have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose the Angel Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 3, the people who will choose group number 3? What's the gossip on group number 3? Okay, so I'm sensing that people are a bit confused, like about something you posted online. I don't know if this resonates with all of you, but I feel like there was something that you posted or something that you commented to. Sometimes when you comment something, it seems to reach some very random people. Like I sometimes see some posts on Facebook where the only reason why these posts, like these pictures, are being shown to me is because somebody on my friend list commented on it, and it seems like a breach of privacy to sit there and read what somebody commented on a picture, like somebody that I don't know, or like, of course we're Facebook friends, so I know them, but I went to high school with them. I didn't really know them that well, and so I feel like it's sometimes a bit of a breach of privacy that these comments are so visible to all the friends on your friend list, like, but yeah, I think maybe you commented on something, and somebody on your friend list was like, that was unexpected, like that this person did not expect that from you at all. And I think this person might have like hit up somebody that maybe this was somebody you went to high school with, and they might have contacted somebody else that you went to high school with, just to kind of get a sense of what this meant, like what was that about. Like, I don't know what this is, but it's something that definitely confused somebody. Like somebody was confused by this, but that I just think it just seemed like they hadn't expected you to maybe have that opinion. Maybe it was something political that you commented on, something that really showed your political views on something, and maybe they just didn't really expect that. So I don't know if it was a positive or negative kind of confusion. Like I don't know if I don't know. But I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say about what's the gossip on you. What are people saying about you behind your back? Okay. 10 of Pentacles reversed. So yeah, somebody might have been like a bit like there might have come up something on your social media, or something that you had like maybe you had a conversation with somebody. I don't know why I feel like this happened over social media. For some of you, it might have just happened in real life, a conversation that you had where you shared your point of view about something, and I think that somebody was just kind of baffled because they didn't expect that at all. Maybe because they thought you would have been more conservative. Like if you gave, if you showed a more socialistic point of view, then maybe someone thought that was strange because maybe they had always imagined that you were more conservative. Or just more, yeah. I don't know. It could also be because of the way you dress. Maybe you dress a bit conservatively, and so maybe they just assumed from the way that you dress. Like if you dress also maybe like if some of you are religious and maybe also show your religion through the way you dress in some way, then like I know it's just a very few, a selected few of you where this actually resonates, but yeah, I think if that's the case, then I think maybe this person just assumed because you're religious that you would be more conservative too, like or that that goes hand in hand with each other in this person's mind, that it's tradition based and tradition equals conservative in some way. I don't know, but with 10 of Pentacles reversed, there could also have been something about your heritage that might have come as a surprise to somebody, that maybe they didn't really think you were maybe it was brought up in a conversation that you're from some kind of bloodline. Maybe you have an ancestor, maybe you have an ancestor who did something important, or like something kind of significant, and maybe you mentioned that in a conversation, that you're actually related to somebody that or yeah, you know. And I think that was just unexpected to this person. This person did like, there was someone at that conversation who did not expect that. So I think they talked about that, but afterwards, that with some people, that they couldn't really believe it because it seemed so surprising, or even a bit shocking. I don't know, but it's So I'm going to shuffle a bit more. Okay, with Uriel here. Uriel. It came out reversed too. It's the Tower, and it came out reversed, and so I think there might be some gossip about something. Like there might have been something that I can't like. This is something very specific, but like I feel like there is someone, and it's not related to this this other person who seemed very surprised about some information that they didn't expect from you. But this is something else entirely. I feel like this is two separate people, and I feel like there is someone who feels like you kind of did them wrong in some way, like that you stood them off or something. This could be someone that you ghosted, like maybe you had a date with them, but then you didn't really want to go, or like I don't know. And I think this person feels very hurt by that but I think this person is like talking about this with other people, probably people that you don't know, because it's likely somebody that you just someone you just found on Tinder or something. So you might not know anybody that they know. Or maybe you do, but I don't think this person has been talking to anyone that you know about this. I don't think this person goes around in the same social groups as you do, so they don't really, yeah. So this is not something you need to be concerned about, because it's not really affecting you. It's just this person talking to some strangers. Like this person also seems to be a stranger to you. So this is just a stranger talking to strangers about you, about how they felt like you should have given them a chance. And that it was, but that it also, like, I think this person kind of also is saying that, like, something like that you were, that it was maybe good that you stood them off, because that it was good that you didn't show up to the date, or that you ghosted them, or like, because then you showed them your true colors, and then they wouldn't have wanted to date you anyways if that was how you if that's how you go about things. Then they don't want anything to do with you, but they kind of do though. Like I think if you actually texted them and asked them, like, if they were ready to go to try again, or like, because maybe, like, if you gave them some kind of excuse to why you didn't show up the first time, then they would be all for that. Like they would bury the hatches and just go along with it. But since but they just feel like you fucked them over or something like that, because you didn't come, or something, that you didn't show up. I mean, yeah. So somebody's a bit butthurt about this, but then again, like, what's it to you? Like, it's just a stranger talking to strangers about you. in a bit of an unflattering light, but it's mostly because they just like, but it's never gonna reach you. Like, it's never gonna actually make a difference in your life. I think it's okay. Like, I don't really. Of course, maybe it would have been okay to give them a reason why you didn't show up, or why you ghosted them. But then again, like, you don't really owe them an explanation, and sometimes it can also be very hard to reject somebody, especially if you kind of have the feeling that they won't take a no for an answer. Then it's maybe sometimes just better to just get out of it before it gets ugly, because that type of person could end up becoming very, very defensive to the point where they would become very offensive and like start attacking you and be verbally abusive towards you if you reject them. So I feel like I think you kind of felt that at some point, that you could kind of tell that they weren't gonna be a good person to date. Like that you maybe there was some red flags. Maybe it even happened after you accepted going on a date with them. So maybe they showed their true colors like right after, when you just had casual conversation with them afterwards, after establishing the date, after scheduling the date, and you just thought like, damn it, like this is not going to end well. And so it makes sense, like and I think you were probably right, because this person is talking about you now, like that you were a bitch, like for not for not coming, for not showing up. Yeah. So, and that's a very, very harsh overreaction, and it kind of shows that maybe you were right, that this person is a bit like, this person just got hurt because they got stood up, like that it hurt their ego, and they take it very, very personally, to the point where they get kind of mean about it. And yeah, but this is not something you need to be concerned about, because this person is not going to come back and haunt you or anything. Like, this person is just going to this person is just gonna talk to some friends about it, call you a bitch, and then like move on. Like, they will move on from this, and it's never gonna really have an effect on your life, I think. So but I'm gonna shuffle and see what kind of gossip is there about you. With the 9 of Swords, it's actually kind of it's a bit strange, because it's like, it says the comforting God here, but it's like a woman who's disciplining, and these two angels here, or it looks that way at least, that she's about to beat them with something, and they're like, one of them has a blindfold on, like, and like it's a bit of a like, I guess people might be saying something about comfort and discipline in the same kind of sentence, where it might seem a bit that maybe you have a very nice way of delivering bad news, and like that maybe even though you might not have wanted to deliver bad news to that person that you didn't want to go on a date with, but that was probably because you knew that it wouldn't sit well with them, and so it would cause a whole conflict. And it might be because you already know a lot about interactions with people, and like you might have a job where you have to kind of put a lid on a situation, like getting a situation under control, like comforting and disciplining people in equal measure, like being, for instance, a kindergarten teacher, or like a daycare, like working in daycare for children, or something like that, or working just with people, like like some kind of humanitarian work, where you deal with people's ups and downs, dealing with people when they are at their worst and when they are also at their best, and maybe there is. I feel like there might be some, this gossip. I don't think it's gossip. It might just be people saying these things about you behind your back, where it's right. It's quite complimentary. I think it's. I think people, like maybe your co-workers or people you study with, if you're studying to become something like that, I think they talk about how you're very good at comforting people, but you're also good at putting your foot down and telling people what's what, and telling people that now is not a good time, or maybe you're just very good at drawing the line that it's best for them to for their own sake to behave more, like to kind of curb their aggression a bit, or like I think you're just very good at both comforting and disciplining. Maybe even like that you're good at criticizing people where they don't even feel like they're being criticized. They just feel like you're just doing it for their own sake, like that you're building them up, like that you're trying to make them better, trying to help them, like that it's coming from a good place whenever you criticize someone, or not criticize, but I mean like try to like pointing out when people can do things differently. So yeah. It says, this card here, it says purification, protection from the impious religious sentiments. It is people might feel a bit like recently you've like, if you have recently found religion, there might be some people from your past who feels like you've changed a bit since you changed your religion, or since you found out that you, like, if maybe also some of you are maybe into the spiritual world, like into learning more about your own psychic abilities and stuff like that, and that's awesome. It's a great journey that you're on, if that's the case. But I think maybe there might be someone or some people from your past who knew you very well from your past, like that, and might have been very good friends of yours, but they might feel a bit like they lost you to this, that now they don't really know you because now you have changed, and now you have all these different beliefs, and that they might not resonate with, or they might not relate to these new beliefs. And so there might be some people who don't quite understand the journey that you're on. And that's the thing about spiritual journeys. They are usually done in solitude, because it is a journey that comes from within. It's not something that is inspired from the outside. It's something that happens within you, and you need to follow that intuitive calling from the inside of you, calling you to get on this wagon here. And I think but now that I said wagon also, it kind of makes me think that maybe you have recently maybe given up drinking, maybe because you felt like it wasn't really giving you that much positive things in your life anymore. Like maybe it used to be fun to go out drinking, but maybe you feel now that it's kind of not what it's blown out to be, like that you feel like you can easily have a good time without drinking alcohol or something like that. And maybe you have some friends from the past who are still stuck in the mindset that it's not possible to have fun without drinking. And so they might feel a bit like now you're so pure and high and mighty, and like that you're now looking down on them for not doing what you're doing or something like that. But in reality, I think it's mostly the other way around. I think it's them judging you for not doing this anymore. Like, so I don't think you actually judge them at all. I think you just feel like it's not for you, but they can go ahead and do whatever they want. But I think in their mind, they feel like you're secretly looking down on them for that. But yeah, I don't think that's the case. I'm going to shuffle some of these archetype cards just to get a bit more information about what people are gossiping about you, what people are saying about you behind your back. Okay, so yeah, with the Prince card reversed. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna have to come clean on something here. I don't know what this means. Like, I don't know. This word is not in my vocabulary, but I'm gonna say what the shadow attribute is, just because this came out reversed, and so I want to share it with you. I don't know what it means. It might make sense to you. It says using power for self-aggrandizement, yeah, that word right here, right here. I don't know. Sorry, but what I read from this card is that I just see the Prince and see it reversed, and I think people might be talking about how you're not in a relationship, and so that's just my 2 cents here from what I interpret from this card is I think people are talking about how you need to be, like, how you need to find love, that love would maybe make your life somehow easier if you found someone, and this could come from your family, like your parents wanting grandchildren or something like that. With a Judge card, it says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. That's what the light attributes on this card says. What I kind of interpret from this card is just like the judge. I think people, like some people might feel like you're a bit of a judge, like that you like, and especially maybe people who used to be friends with you feel like now you're like this high and mighty person, that now you're a bit, maybe they feel like you're a bit judgmental towards them, that now you're like pointing out, oh, this is not right, this is like if somebody makes an offensive joke about something, that's maybe something you used to just let slide, like you didn't really want to make a big fuss about it back in the day. Like back in the past, you might have been very like you probably noticed that it wasn't very nice, that you had some friends who weren't being very kind towards maybe minorities, and maybe made some kind of racist or homophobic jokes or something like that. And maybe you felt like that wasn't right, but you didn't really want to say anything just because you didn't want to be the person that, like, I just feel like back in the day you might have been a bit more quiet about things that you felt wasn't right, like. And maybe you just wanted to stay friends with your friends. Like if this was your classmates, like in the university or in high school or something, then you just probably just wanted to stay friends because you didn't want to be excluded from the group, because maybe it was your study group and you didn't want to get on their bad side because you knew you had to study with them for the rest of the semester, and possibly the rest of the whole degree, like getting the like that you had to kind of stay through it for 3 years, and so you needed to just keep your mouth shut so that you didn't get excluded. And that would also have been kind of a bummer, to just have to go it alone or find other friends or something. Like it like sometimes we don't speak up because there's too much at stake, and there's no shame in that. Like I think we all just do whatever to survive, like whatever we need to do. But I think maybe now, like now that you've had some distance from these people, and maybe now that you don't really depend on them, like that it's not life or death if they suddenly choose to exclude you, like it wouldn't really bother you that much. And so maybe now you feel more like you can actually say like that's a bit racist, or that's homophobic, like and you can say it without actually feeling like there's too much at stake. And I think, but I think now they just feel like now you're a bit of a buzzkill, like now you're high and mighty and acting like you're better than them. But in reality, I just think you don't really like to hear people say offensive stuff just for the heck of it. And sometimes it's also just really tactless, especially when people make jokes like that when there's actually people in the room who actually gets hurt by it. Like sometimes there are people who don't seem to have a very good radar for that sort of thing. Like they can't read the room, and they don't even realize who they hurt. Like, yeah, so but yeah, but I think that, yeah, I think they just, but I think they do respect you somehow. But and I think they still also, like, they know, like, because the thing is that when they say all this about now you're so high and mighty, it's also a way for them to feel better about themselves, because I think it made them feel a bit ashamed of themselves that you said this to them, like that it made them realize, okay, that it wasn't okay what they said, and they had to kind of put the blame on somebody else because they didn't want to look inwards. And but I think they do like you still, and they want to still be friends with you. I don't know if you want to be friends with them. That's kind of like with the Nine of Swords here. I feel like there are some people in your past, some people that you used to be friends with, who actually really like to get back in touch with you and talk about old times and stuff like that. But I think maybe you feel like you're kind of over it, like you kind of have your own life now, and like you don't, I think you feel very content about your life right now, so you don't really want to have that. I think you're just not that into these people anymore. Like you might have thought they were okay when you didn't have anything else, like, but maybe now that you have something else, they might kind of, like, maybe you even feel a bit like you don't really know why what you saw in them back then, like why you actually wanted to hang out with them so badly, like why you were so scared of losing their friendship back in the day. Like I think maybe now reflecting on it, you don't really understand what the appeal was. And I think that, yeah, the appeal was that they were the best option out of very, very bad options at the moment in time, like back then. And it was a shitty situation, and that was, yeah, like you just had to grasp whatever you could get. But now you seem to have a more full life, like you have better people around you, and you don't really seem to be in need of any friendship with people who are kind of offensive pricks, like so. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose the Cook's Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 4, the people who will choose group number 4? What's the gossip on group number 4? What are people saying about group number 4 behind their back? Okay, so I'm sensing that some people feel like you need to suck it up. And I feel like this is maybe coming from some family members, or maybe a friend of yours from the past who might feel like you haven't been coming to their parties. I know this is very specific, but like there might be someone who feels like they have invited you to something but you didn't want to go, or that you or maybe that you had an excuse, but and maybe you explained why you couldn't go, but they didn't really accept that explanation. Like they might have felt like it was just a bad excuse for not attending. This could also be about your school, like if you're taking a degree in something right now, or like if you're attending some classes, you might have maybe recently skipped some classes, maybe your attendance in one of your classes is very low, and maybe there are some of your classmates are talking about how your excuses are maybe just made up or something, where I don't think that's the case. I think you have a valid excuse for why you're not going, but I think maybe you have explained that to some of your classmates, but I think even though you've explained it, I think they just still feel like you should just suck it up and come, like, and show up to more classes. But I feel like that's maybe relevant for some of you. I don't know if that's going to resonate with all of you. But yeah. But I feel like, yeah, I think you're struggling with something. Like I think you have a lot of things that you're dealing with right now, and I think some people in your life are actually understanding, and they get what you're going through, and they are empathetic and sympathetic of your situation. But then there are other people in your life who just feel like you're making it up, or and I hate to say that, because that's a horrible thing, really. But it could just be someone, like, I don't think you should take it personally, because I feel like it's coming from people who has a very very squared, like very boxy look on mental illness, or on mental struggles, like or like depression or anxiety or so. Like, I think there are some people in your life who believes that it doesn't exist, like that depression isn't real, anxiety isn't real, that all of this is just a scam. It's just a hoax for the medical industry to make money. And so I think there might be some of those people in your life, like maybe in your family, or someone who's a friend of yours or used to be a friend of yours might have this opinion about mental illness, that it's not real. And so if you have opened up to any of these people, like about what you're going through, and then maybe these people just didn't really get it, because in their mind it's not real. So you're just so in their mind it seems just like a bad excuse. Like if you explain to that friend of yours from the past that you're dealing with depression right now or something like that, and they then invited you to a party after knowing that you were going through something terrible, like then they might have felt like, well, that you were just using it as an excuse to not go, and that maybe they felt like they knew what was best for you, so they felt like you should have gone to that party, you should have showed up, because it would have just relieved your depression magically, because they know that that the cure to depression is not like medication or therapy or anything like that. It's just going to their party. That would be the cure. Like, so I think I think there are, yeah, but I think you should remember that there are definitely people in your life who actually seem to be supportive of you and understanding of what you're going through. And it's all about just focusing on these people and just ignoring the people who might not have your best interest at heart, like the people who don't seem to completely empathize, especially the people where you have actually explained in rather vivid detail about what you're going through and why it's a struggle for you to show up to things, and why it, yeah, like why, because maybe you've explained that it's hard for you to get up in the morning, so of course it's going to be hard for you to show up to a party, like and maybe you've tried to explain that it wasn't personal, it wasn't because you didn't want to go, it was just because you weren't in a state of mind that allowed you to come. And it's so but I think there's just a lot of again it's just a few people in your life who are talking about this, that I think they are, yeah, it's this friend of yours from the past, and then maybe some family members who are talking about how you should, like, I feel like there's someone in your family, like an older generation, maybe a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle or something like that, who is of the belief that the cure to depression is hard labor, like just going to work and just working from the sun goes up till the sun goes down, and just working all day, and that's the cure for depression. So it feels like an older generation person, someone who doesn't seem to be very empathetic of the youth, someone who is constantly talking about how the youth is just always just complaining, and that young people have it so easy these days, and they should have just tried to like live a day in their shoes, because it's kind of the grandpa who says like that, back when I was a child, I had to go through snow, go like 10 miles through like a blizzard to get to school, and like that it was uphill both ways and stuff like that. So that kind of grandparent, I feel like, I don't know if this is your grandparent or if it's someone just in your family. I feel like, but I'm gonna shuffle and see what the cards have to say about what's the gossip on you. What are people saying about you behind your back? Okay, so with the 7 of Wands reversed, I feel like there are someone in your life who's saying that you're not fighting enough, that you're just that you're not putting up a fight, that you're just somehow just being that you seem defeated. And of course you might seem defeated if you're actually dealing with something like depression that can definitely make you feel like that. That's the symptom of depression. It's or like one of the main symptoms of the feeling of feeling defeated every day, and like waking up and feeling like you've already lost the day, even before it even started. Like it's I think it's just that there is some people in your life there are some people in your life who don't seem to really understand what you're going through, and so and it shows. It definitely shows. But I want to emphasize that there are some people in your life who are supportive and understanding. So yeah, but you asked for the gossip, and so yeah, this is what people are saying about you behind your back. So with the Nine of Swords, I feel like people are, yeah, it's definitely I think people are talking about, or someone is at least talking about how they feel like you're trapping yourself in, that you're your own worst enemy, like that you're that you're isolating yourself, and that you're not really seeing the way out, or that it might be very obvious to this person but that's again, like, it's always easy to be the person on the outside looking in and pointing out everything that's wrong, but being inside the body that's aching, like I'm also getting something about maybe you have something like an autoimmune illness, or like what's it called, like fibromyalgia or something like and or something like that, something like an aching, like an illness that has that gives you pain in all joints and all muscles, or like something like a pain illness. Of course, it's very hard with pain illnesses to get sympathy from at least some people, because there will always be some people who don't believe it's real, who believes that you're just making it up or something. Because pain cannot be measured. It's only like it's something that we can only feel ourselves. And so unless somebody can just swatch bodies and switch bodies, and then you can't really tell how much pain a person is in, because it can't be measured. But you just have to take the person's word for it, because of course, if somebody, like, and also sometimes it's like I feel like these people kind of lose. Like they lose track of these people who don't really believe in people who are experiencing like a lot of pain, like the people who don't believe them, they seem to have all missed one very big what's it called, like there's one thing that they've all missed, and that is that nobody wants to live the life of an autoimmune patient. Like these, like it's not like nobody wants to miss out on every party, or nobody wants to miss out on the life that everybody else gets to live. Like it's not like nobody has like that dream, like from when they were a child, like that dream of just being being on sick leave for like a long time, and just like it's not something that somebody chooses. It's not like it. Why would someone choose that? Like, why would someone lie about that? like about being in pain, and unless they're getting something out of it. But I think in this case, I think people should realize that you're not really getting anything out of it. You're just missing out on a lot of things that you used to find very fun to do, like the things that you actually enjoyed to do in the past. That's things that you can't really do anymore, and that they don't really realize the sacrifice that you've had to make for, and that it's not anything anybody just signs up for just for the heck of it. It is, of course, something that they should believe in. I feel like it's kind of I just think that they've lost track of the bigger picture. Like if they just looked at the bigger picture, like what then they would see that you're not actually gaining anything from this. Like so why lie about it if there's nothing to gain? So yeah, but it's really hard to reason with people like this. They will always think they are right, like that. They will always believe that all these illnesses are made up, even though there are plenty of evidence that it's not made up. Like for instance, like of course, yeah, it's hard with things like chronic fatigue. Like it's hard to measure, it's hard to prove that it's, but many countries have actually accepted it as an actual diagnosis, and there's a reason why doctors do that. It is acknowledged as an actual, as an actual illness. So why be so stubborn in dismissing this information? Like it's like they know better than a lot of very, very highly educated doctors. Like it's, but yeah, there will definitely always be people who are skeptical of doctors and the medical industry and all of that. So yeah, with the Ace of Swords reversed, I think there might be someone talking about how you're not really in contact with them anymore. That you used to be more communicative towards them. That maybe nowadays you seem to be a bit more quiet around them, or maybe they've tried to like there might be someone who's tried to text you and you didn't text them back. Maybe it's because they said something about your illness or said something not very sensitive about the struggles that you're going through, and so maybe you have a very good reason to ignore this person. And if that's the case, like if this person has been kind of mean towards you, then I think it's like you shouldn't owe, like you don't owe them an explanation. You can but I think this person feels like you owe them an explanation, like that they want you to kind of explain why you've distanced yourself from them. But I think if you actually explained it to them, I think they wouldn't take that explanation to heart. I think they would just I don't know, like, but with the Three of Pentacles, I think people are saying about you that you are that you are very smart, and I think that is one of the things that that some people might feel like that you shouldn't be sick because you're smart, which is weird. but maybe it's some of the people who are skeptical about the whole medical industry and doctors and all of that. They might look at you and see, and they realize, or they know, because they've known you from earlier on. They know that you're very smart, and so maybe they feel like, since you're so smart, that you shouldn't have been scammed by this hoax that is the medical industry or something like that. I don't know. But I'm also getting that people are just in general talking about how smart you are, and then there might be some people who maybe in your family who feels like it's a shame that that you have this illness, because you have such potential to go very far, like that that you could easily finish your education. Like if you're in an education right now, or maybe you dropped out of an education, I don't know, but maybe there is someone talking about how it's a shame that you didn't get to finish your education, because they feel like you could easily have finished it with flying colors, but that this illness, or that you have kind of gotten in the way. And I think they just talk about how it's a shame because you're so smart, and that they don't want you to throw that away. But we are just handling the cards that we have been dealt. So it's just some, like, we can't really we can't choose what cards we are given. Like but yeah, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, yeah, I think people just, like, there's some gossip going on, or people are talking about how you could easily become like extremely successful and make a lot of money and become a lawyer, or like a doctor, or that you could easily become very highly educated and make a lot of money because of it, but that you're too stagnant, or that you're not really just sucking it up and just doing it. But again, like, they don't know what it is to be you. Like, they don't know what a day in your life looks like, and they don't know the things that you have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Like, it's so don't let this upset you that people talk about this. I know it probably does, but it's coming from people who don't know better, and that yeah, but I am very, very, I can tell that there are people in your life that wants the best for you, and it's just about prioritizing these people. And I feel like you're already prioritizing these people, because I feel like you have closed the door to some people that you felt like wasn't being very supportive to you, and I feel like that's good, and I think you should pat yourself on the back for doing that, for taking the step and actually standing up for yourself, and keeping the people in your life who actually understands what you're going through, and doesn't look down on you for having a disability, or for having something that you're struggling with. It's I think that's a good priority. And yeah, I feel like you're gonna yeah. I wish you the best, and I think that's all I have for you. And like, I hope you get I hope you get through this, or that you get some acceptance of your own, like, and I think you already have that acceptance already. I feel like you know that it's real, and you're not. I feel like you're not being affected by these people in your life who say nasty things. Like, I don't really feel like they are getting to you. I think you seem to be strong in your own standpoint, that you're strong in in defending yourself, and I think that's great. And yeah, I hope you get. I wish you the very best for the future. I hope you find a way to cope with this, with the things that are going on in your life. Remember that, like, if this has to do with healing past trauma or something like that, then remember that that healing looks different for everyone. Like, don't compare yourself to others who have different stories than yours. Like, remember that it's you who needs to be healed, not them. So it's not like, don't compare yourself. It's your journey. It's your so they can have all these opinions on, like, I feel like, yeah, people can have opinions on how long you take to heal, or how long you're going to have a sick leave, or like, people can have opinions about that, but unless they are in your body, they don't get a vote, because they don't know what it's like to be you. And it's yeah, I think I really, yeah, I wish you the very best for the future. I hope everything's gonna turn out better, brighter for you. And yeah, have a great day, and have a great week, and have a great year, and yeah. And I'll see you in my next reading, or hopefully. And yeah, if you would like to subscribe to my channel, make sure to click on the subscribe button. And if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this Cirque du Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So, Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 5, the people who will choose group number 5? What's the gossip on group number 5? What are people saying about group number 5 behind group number 5's back? Okay, so people are talking about how honest you are and how direct you are. And I think some people find it really refreshing that you're very authentic, and you say what's on your mind, and you don't keep anything inside. Like, you don't talk as if you have a filter on. Like, you actually say what you want to say. And I think there might also, I'm getting something about how you, like, there might have been some kind of embarrassing situation that you happened to be a part of, or that this happened to you. Like, there might have been some kind of embarrassing situation where maybe you went to the bathroom and forgot to lock the door, and then somebody walked in, and maybe you were in the middle of something that was like, or maybe it just wasn't very flattering, and maybe you felt very, very embarrassed afterwards. And maybe your first reaction was that, like, after you got out of the bathroom after this happened, was to go directly to some of your friends and tell them about it. And I get that. I understand that urge to just talk to somebody about it, because it helps with the embarrassment to talk to other people about it. It's like hearing it out loud, like, sometimes can make it seem less frightening. Like, it seems less embarrassing when it's being talked about. Like, it can, like, soften the blow a little bit by talking about it. And so I get that, but I think your friends just, like, there might have been something where your friends talked about it later and felt like it was really just refreshing that you felt so comfortable just sharing that, because maybe some of your friends felt like if they were in your shoes, they would probably have kept it to themselves. Like, they would probably have just sat on it and just become they would just have gotten more and more uncomfortable with it, and just, like, I think they would have just had it bottled up inside, and I don't think that's a good way to cope with things like that. So, but I think they felt like it was very refreshing that you just didn't let that, like, that you actually talked about it. I think they just liked that. I think so. And of course, this was just an example. The bathroom the bathroom story was just an example. It could have been anything that happened to you that was a bit embarrassing, but I just felt like your friends felt like it was cool that you just shared that with them. That you weren't afraid of kind of like maybe putting yourself as the butt of the joke. And I think that's also something they like about you, that you don't take yourself too seriously, that you're not afraid of being the butt of the joke, and you're not afraid of making jokes about yourself. And that maybe you also make more jokes about yourself than you make jokes about others. And I think people like that about you. I think but yeah, I'm definitely sensing that people talk very, very nicely about you when they talk about you behind your back. They talk about about how direct you are, how honest you are, how genuine you are, and how authentic you are, and how you're not afraid of embarrassing yourself, or not afraid of taking your, like, of making yourself the butt of the joke. Or and it might not sound that good when I say it that way, but I think they mean it in a nice way, though. I'm also sensing that there might have been some kind of something that they might have been, like, talking about afterwards, like something you did that they found super refreshing. And I think that was there was some kind of like a party that you attended, maybe at one of your friends' house, or like maybe at a stranger's house, but I think your friends were there, and you might have felt like it was a dull party and you just wanted to go home. And so I think you just said that you were gonna leave, and I think and one of your friends might have asked you why you were going to leave, and I think this friend was expecting you to come up with some kind of excuse, like like something urgent, like that that the house was burned down, or like probably not that, but that they probably just expected you to say like that your mother was sick, or that you needed to take care of something, or that you needed to go to work tomorrow, or like something that they just expected some kind of excuse, but then you just said that the party was dead, like, so there was no reason to hang on to it, like there wasn't, like it couldn't be resurrected, so why stay and linger on the grave of it, like that I think you just said something that they found very funny, that you just said what was on everybody's mind. Like everybody thought it was a dull party, everybody wanted to go home, but you were the only one who actually articulated it, like said it directly, that what was on everybody's mind, like, so. And I think people have talked about that afterwards, that was very cool of you to just say it, that you and that it was very typical of you, really, when they thought about it, that they didn't really understand why they expected anything less from you, because of course you were gonna say exactly what was on your mind, because you usually do that, and I think people just really like that about you. So okay, so with the Ace of Cups reversed, I think people might be talking about your, like, there might be some people who talk about your love life a little bit, or the lack of it, like that you don't. And this could come from some family members, like someone in your family who feels like you should be in a relationship, or that you're not doing enough to be in a relationship, or that you're not putting yourself out there enough, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you are in a relationship right now, and if that's the case, then maybe there is somebody in your life who feels like this relationship's not gonna last, or something like that. That they don't really believe in the love. That they might not believe that there is anything there, like that it. Yeah. So, but I feel like some people might have even or there might be someone who might have talked about your sexuality, or like there might have been some speculations about whether the reason why you have been single for some time, like, I don't know, I don't even know if you've been single for some time, but there might have been some people who have been speculated that maybe it's because you're asexual, or maybe or that you're a closeted homosexual, or like something like that. I don't know. But there might have been some kind of. I don't think it's mean-spirited though, because I think it could come from somebody who is in the LGBTQ community, like somebody that you know who is maybe gay or asexual, or like someone who and so maybe they just speculate that maybe maybe that's why you haven't found somebody, but I don't feel like it's mean-spirited though. So yeah. With the Six of Swords reversed, this is an imagery of a whale. So, and it's reversed. So there might be some something like some people might be talking about how you're getting a bit too skinny or something, or that you're not eating, or something like that. But again, like I feel like that's maybe specific for some of you. It might not be for all of you. With the Knight of Cups reversed, I think yeah, I think this has again something to do with your love life. Maybe that you're not really, that you're not looking for love. That maybe some people feel like you should just, that you should use online dating or something like that. Maybe they have even said that to your face. So maybe it's not just something they say behind your back. Like this is maybe something they keep saying like that over and over again, that you should put yourself more out there. And maybe maybe this is someone who has even talked about like making a Tinder profile for you, or something like that. Maybe even threatened to do it without you even knowing about it or something like that. I don't know. But I know that's very specific for some of you. With the Six of Swords reversed here, like it's also about like that you're maybe not really, that you're not that you're maybe a bit stuck. When maybe mostly when it comes to your love life, that you're not really, maybe you had a relationship with someone recently that didn't work out because you didn't really like long distance relationships. Like maybe it was someone who lived a bit far away and you felt like that wasn't going to work out, and so maybe you ended it because you didn't really feel it, or you didn't really think it could happen, or that it could, that it could. You might not have felt like it could work out between you two, and maybe there is someone in your life who feels like that was a mistake, or that you should have, that you should have traveled to them, or something like that. Even though, of course, that it's a long way to just travel to someone where it's like not really certain if it would even work out. Like so yeah, there might be someone who feels like you're not really making a proper effort to find love. That the attempts that you've had on love have been half-hearted, half-assed, and that you might have just shied away at the slightest difficulty coming your way. And I don't really think that's the case, but maybe there is a part of you that don't actually want to be in a relationship. So maybe when you're like, maybe you don't really want to make that big of an effort to be in a relationship if you're not really feeling it. Like if you're not like, so yeah, I kind of get it. Like, why get out of your way for something that isn't actually your wish to fulfill? Like it's not something you want, or not something you want at the moment, maybe. But yeah, I'm gonna shuffle some of these archetype cards just to get a bit more information about what the gossip is about you. Okay, so there isn't a lot of gossip about you. People, I feel like people, because you are so direct with people, I think people also feel like they can be direct towards you. And I think just the fact that you're so honest with people make people want to be honest to you too. So I think I think people around you don't actually want to say anything behind your back that they couldn't say directly to your face, just because you give off this vibe that everything is acceptable to say, like that there's no taboo topics, like there's nothing that they can't talk to you about. And I think people don't want to gossip about you, just because I think people feel like you wouldn't gossip about them. And so they would feel a bit bad about doing it to you. So, and that's positive. But I do feel like people might be saying some things about some things about your love life being non-existent and stuff like that. But I think they just joke about it, and they would say it directly to your face too. Like, it's not something they would only say behind your back. But I'm going to shuffle a bit more about what people might say about you behind your back, or what people are saying about you behind your back. Mediator. So I think people see you as someone who's a very good mediator. You're good at solving conflict. That you have a gift for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. I think people really like the way that you can address a situation and calm people down, people who are like in an argument with each other, like that you're good at. I think you're also very good at reading people, like, and so I think people see you as a very good a good diplomat, someone who's very good at just swooping in and saving the day by getting people to see eye to eye. And I think that it really takes a good eye for character, like someone who's very good at seeing what people have in common, so that like seeing the common grounds, like seeing where people actually are agreeing with each other. Like sometimes people disagree about something, but they don't even realize that while they are disagreeing, they actually are, in a way, like sometimes there are like people can disagree about something and actually agreeing about the same thing, but just they don't realize that it's the same thing, but just two different sides of the same thing, but they are actually on the same side of the argument. Sometimes it just needs someone with a more of an outside point of view to just come in and kind of see things clearly, and I think you're very good at that. And I think people are talking about how you're very good at calming people down, and also calling a spade a spade, like like getting in there and actually actually just telling people if they are like being that you're very direct with people, like that you're also direct when you feel like somebody is in the wrong. Then you're very good at just saying that you feel like they are in the wrong, and that they should actually apologize, and they should stop playing the victim, because they are not the victim in this. Like that you're very good at seeing the bigger picture and seeing how sometimes people can get very argumentative about some very small details, and they lose track of the bigger picture. They don't realize that when they are fixated on one word that somebody used, that they even used in a way that they didn't even realize that it would be misinterpreted, then they are creating a distance between the two of them over something that wasn't even intended to be offensive, and even creating a big conflict that can cause a bigger grudge. And like I don't even know where I'm going with this, but I think like bottom line is that I think people are talking about how you're a very good mediator, and that you're good at reading people, and that you're good at seeing both sides of an argument, that you're not so fixed in your opinion that you don't really realize the other person's opinion, that you're very good at seeing the bigger picture. I think that's just what I'm getting at. But I think that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye. Hello, group number 6. You chose the Alcohol Tarot deck, and I'm going to start with some channeling, and then I'm going to shuffle the cards for you. So I'm going to do the channeling now. So Spirit, can you answer this question for group number 6, the people who will choose group number 6? What's the gossip on group number 6? What are people saying about group number 6 behind their back? Okay, so since this is the Alcohol Tarot deck, I feel like that has a significance too. But I think there might be some people gossiping about maybe your habits regarding alcohol. Either if you're someone who doesn't drink alcohol, then maybe people are gossiping about that, like why you're not drinking alcohol. Then they might make some assumptions about why that is. And if you do drink alcohol, then maybe some people feel like you're maybe overdoing it or something like that. But I don't know. But it could also have to do with other things that there might be some rumors about you. Like I don't know if these are kind of old rumors, and but then maybe you smoke. There might be some rumors about you smoking weed or something like that. And maybe just that you have a maybe more rock and roll lifestyle or something like that. And maybe that's not the case at all, but it could just be something people assume because of the way you dress or the way you present yourself. Like maybe you wear some clothes that are maybe a bit more alternative or a bit more maybe a bit more raw. So like maybe you have some pants with, I know that this is silly, but like pants with holes in them, like even though that's very normal, like it used to be quite trendy to have jeans with holes in them, but some people might consider that to be like rebel behavior, to have like jeans with holes in them. But yeah, there might be something about the way you dress that might make some people from the older generation assume that maybe you're like that, yeah, I don't know, that you're a rocker or like a hippie or a flipper or something, I don't know. With the Three of Spirits, which is Three of Swords, there might be some people gossiping about how you have been through some heartbreak or something. That maybe you're not completely over your ex or something like that, but and maybe it was even like your ex used to smoke weed or even take harder drugs or something like that. And maybe people assumed that because you were in a relationship with him or her, that maybe you were into that sort of thing too, just because you were in a relationship with them. And that's a very bold assumption, because of course you can still be in a relationship with a drug addict without actually becoming a drug addict yourself. Like that's a very faulty logic. But yeah. But so yeah, there might be some speculations about you maybe drinking or smoking or like something like, yeah. Again, if that's not the case, I feel like it's the first thing about you maybe withholding from alcohol and that, or not drinking alcohol, and that might create even more assumptions that, oh, since you're not drinking, then it's probably because you overdid it in the past, and maybe it was because of the rock and roll ex that you had, who was on everything, or like who was taking drugs, and so maybe that rubbed off on you, and maybe that is why you're sober now. Like it's I don't know, it's a bit it's a bit silly, but I'm gonna shuffle. With 10 of Daggers, which is 10 of Pentacles, I think people are talking about your heritage, maybe like I think there might be something about, or your inheritance, like if you've inherited some money recently, maybe someone sadly passed away, if someone in your family, and maybe you inherited some money because of that. Of course, this is very specific. It might not resonate with all of you, but maybe people are talking about that, the fact that you've inherited some money, and I don't really know what their opinion about that is. I think they might just talk about it, like without actually taking any sides or saying like that it's a good idea or a bad idea that you're getting this money or this money, like that. I feel like they are talking about it quite neutrally, but there might be someone who's a bit butthurt about it. But I don't really think it's I feel like it's not for all of you. I feel like for those of you where there is somebody who's butthurt about it, I think you know who that is. But for others of you where this doesn't resonate with you, then I just then I don't think that's the case. So. Or maybe you've gotten some money, like it might not even be an inheritance, but maybe you got a small, like contribution, or like some small help from your parents, maybe to get things rolling. Like maybe you needed some money to get back on your feet, maybe after this breakup or this thing that happened in your life that might have been a bit traumatic and might have taken a toll on you emotionally. So maybe you asked your parents for some money, and maybe you got the money, and that's great. That's also what family is for. It's for helping when we can't, when we're drowning. It's good to have family to help us get back on our feet. And so I think that there's nothing. I don't think you should be ashamed of asking your parents for money, but I think maybe there is somebody in your life who feels like you shouldn't have asked your parents for that, like that you should have figured it out on your own. And I don't know if you have maybe some siblings or a sibling that isn't very understanding of your situation, or maybe it's a friend of yours who feels like maybe a friend of yours who is a bit jealous of you because maybe they don't have parents who help them financially. So seeing you get help financially from your parents might make that person a bit envious. Might feel like they would want to trade places with you, because that would like, and maybe they just feel so miserable and they want other people to feel miserable too, so that they are in the same boat with them, if that makes sense. So don't take that too hard. Like don't take it too personally. With the Strength card, I actually feel like a lot of people find you to be very strong. And I feel like that is the people that you have actually explained your situation to in very vivid detail. Like the people close to you who know exactly what you've been through and know what you've struggled with and know how hard this was for you to get through. I think they are by your side, and they see how strong you are with the Strength card here. They see that you're they see the strength in you. They see how you have battled this, and that it's been a hard journey for you. And so yeah, I'm going to shuffle some of these archetype cards just to get a bit more information on what the gossip is about you. The Trickster card, this card's light attribute is transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. Like that you're not someone who follows convention, you're not stuffy, you're not predictable, you're beyond that. You're someone like, and I think people actually find that to be, even though there might be some people who feel like, or maybe like the older generation who feels like you should just follow the norms, follow the convention. I think I think others, your friends and maybe also your followers, if you have followers on social media, I think they find it refreshing that you're so unconventional, that you're not stuffy and not predictable, that you're actually someone who keeps them guessing, keeps them like someone who keeps surprising them. Like there's always a layer underneath, like whenever they think they have gotten to the bottom of you, like to the bottom of the mystery, like then there's another layer right underneath, like that. It's always kind of hard to figure you out, that you have a mystery to you that is interesting to solve. That you're also a very deep person, and you've been through a lot of things that have shaped you, and I feel like you're also quite philosophical, and that you are well read, and I think people somehow like get a bit surprised about that, maybe because of the way that you dress or like the way you present yourself. Maybe people don't really expect you to have read like some like maybe they don't expect you that you've read Schopenhauer or like Kierkegaard and yeah, maybe even Hegel and Heidegger and all of them. Like I'm just mentioning, I'm just naming philosophers now, but I just feel like people don't people might, yeah, I think people talk about that. People talk about how smart you are, that you're always kind of surprising with like that every time they think they know who you are, they realize that you're way more than they thought you were. That you actually have a lot of knowledge about various topics, like that you're definitely not a one-trick pony. You always have, like, I think you know a lot about a very, very big variety of topics, like very it's I think you yeah, I'm going to shuffle a bit more about what people say about you. I think with a light at with a blank card, I think people like you keep people guessing. Like you're a bit of a mystery. It's hard to figure you out. So I think that's also what people talk about when they talk about you, is like, I think people ask around to see if other people know more about you than they do, like because I think I think people are curious about you, like they want to figure you out, they want to get to know you. So yeah, but they see that. But I also think like this depth that you have, like these stories that you carry. I think somehow people just don't expect somebody who has been through something very traumatic. Like maybe you had a very difficult childhood. Maybe you've also had a very terrible relationship, a toxic relationship afterwards, or like that you've had many things that you've had to overcome, and I think you're probably quite open about that to people, but I think people just don't expect you to also have this like that you're so book smart as well as street smart, because I think the experiences that you have, like maybe you even lived on the street at some point, and so you have a lot of experience with, like, yeah, I know that will only resonate with a very few of you, maybe one of you, but yeah, I feel like definitely something where maybe you were put on the street at some point in your childhood, like where you didn't have anywhere to live, or like where there might have been a lot of turmoil in your childhood, and I think just people don't expect someone who's street smart to also be extremely book smart, and I think people just it's surprising to people that you have such that you are so well read, but also just very, very well read when it comes to books that are very hard to read, like very hard to comprehend, like books with a lot of very difficult concepts that requires a lot of the reader to understand and to it, like. But I think you're very good at actually comprehending very, very difficult concepts, very complicated concepts. And you might even be very good at explaining those concepts to other people in a way that actually makes them feel like it's actually easier to understand when they hear it from you. And so I think some people even feel like you could become like a teacher, because you seem to be very good at explaining very, very complicated things in a very simple way. And that is a gift. It's a big gift to be able to do that. But yeah. But I think that, yeah, there is another thing here. Like sometimes people feel like when someone is very, very smart, there is this stereotype of the extremely intelligent person who tends to escape in alcohol or substance abuse because they need a way to silence their brain, or kind of numb their brain to the point where they feel like a normal person. And yeah, it's definitely a thing. I know some people that I suspect did kind of get into alcohol abuse because of that. So, but yeah, there might be some people who might, or one person who might have been speculating that maybe you had that maybe the reason why you're maybe at some point you went out drinking with this person, and maybe you drank a bit too much, as people do sometimes when they are out in out drinking. Like sometimes, yeah, like I'm from Denmark, so like to me that's like kind of normal behavior. Like it's yeah, but I guess in other countries it's not. So, but I think some people might have like assumed that the reason why you were drinking a lot that evening or something like that, or maybe over a bunch of times, like that maybe it was because you're so intelligent that you needed to numb your brain a bit, and so maybe they've just been speculating about that. So yeah, there's that also. So, but I think that's all I have for you. I'm gonna end the reading here. So I hope this reading was helpful. If it was, please subscribe to my channel, and if you want a personal reading from me, check the description box below for more information on how to get one. And have a great day, and bye.